Okay, I am an interactive comedian. You know what that means?
It means you want us to talk to you?
Yeah.
Alright.
You don't have to just sit there. You can say things. Okay? All right. So, okay. Here we go. Okay, so if there's one thing that makes sense to me these days in our times of Trump and global warming, it's being silly, okay? So pretty much everything you're going to hear for the next few minutes is silly and pointless because that's the only way I can deal with all of the crap that's out there right now, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not that I don't care about the world, it's that I can't think about all the nonsense that's happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so. All right, so I was at a restaurant the other night with my son. And I used to be a waitress many years ago. And there was a woman who was sitting there with her husband. They're kind of older. And the waitress, first she came over to our table and she took our order and she was standing. Okay, most waitresses stand. Waiters and waitresses stand, right? Most of the time? Well, after a little while, the next table ordered and then the woman was sitting down next to the woman who was sitting there. And the look on the woman's face she was very uncomfortable. Okay, so number one, here's my question for you. How would you feel if someone I know some of you have been in restaurants like this, where the person sits down next to you when they're taking your order. How do you feel?
I don't really care.
Sorry.
Don't really care, okay. Anybody else?
I like it.
As long as they stay for the whole meal.
As long as they what?
Stay for the whole meal.
Stay for the whole meal. It annoys you? Somebody? Honest?
If there's a big restaurant and I'm the only one sitting at a table and they sit right next to the one when they can sit over there, yes. That's annoying.
It's a little weird, right?
And then they always start.
It matters how attractive they are. Right?
They're always coughing.
Because why? Why is it weird? Why did it used to be weird? If you don't think it's weird
it
now.
violates the class system.
Because it's a class system. You're right, actually, right?
Wow.
Because we expect people to be standing up,
Right.
serving us, right? So for them to come down to their level, it's weird that they're on the
Right.
same level as us. They should be standing up. We're
Right.
sitting down, right?
Yeah.
So I like that people sit down and take our order. But it's weird that people are put off by it. Like this woman, as soon as this woman was taking her order, was like, and she just kept staring at her husband while this woman was sitting next to her trying to take her order, pretending that she wasn't sitting there. And I kept thinking that, and I was like, why? Why do we have these unwritten rules in our head that a person can't sit down next to them and take their order, right? So then I started thinking about how many other unwritten rules do we have in our heads that we don't realize are there until somebody does something like that and they sit down next to you to take their order. You might not even know that you have that unwritten rule in your head until somebody does that. So I made a list of unwritten rules in my head. Okay?
Yeah, that was a long intro.
Thank you, Larry, for your honesty.
You're welcome.
Okay, so here we go. Here's an unwritten rule in my head that you have to have jokes memorized. I don't. Okay, who cares? I'm gonna read them. Brushing your teeth. That's a pretty good rule to have in your head, right? Right? Feeding my kids. That's a pretty good unwritten rule.
That's how old they are.
It does depend.
I just want to say, my teeth gave me the brush off a long time ago.
Good.
Whatever.
Good. You deserve
It's supposed to be
Larry.
interactive, right?
Okay. Having a job. Yeah, that's kind of an unwritten rule. Using punctuation. Is that an unwritten rule that you have to use punctuation? Yes?
Oh.
You think it's good? Yeah? Some people, I don't like punctuation.
Now, I was going to say on my Instagram it's the opposite.
Instagram is, yeah. Any texting, forget it. Capital letters. Smelling good. Is that an unwritten rule? You should smell good wherever you go?
Yes. It's not a rule. It's not a rule. It's just. It's not a rule.
It's not a rule, but you know, if you're a woman and you're alone on a subway late at night, it might be good if you don't smell good. Actually,
There you
people
go.
might stay away.
There are varying degrees of smell.
Not drinking too much. Is that an unwritten rule? We're at a bar. Okay.
I never heard of that.
Okay, peeing in public.
What?
Hey, that depends. That depends. Not public. Yeah.
Right? Well, number one, men can do this way easier than women, but they do
It's not
have
our
those
fault.
devices for women. You can actually pee with a funnel.
It's not our fault.
Having a significant other. Is that an unwritten rule in your head? You have to have someone?
Yeah.
Let me call my girlfriend and ask her.
Unfortunately, yes.
It is. And I think it is a desirable thing, although I think significant others tend to be a considerable pain in the ass. That's my honest opinion.
Whoa.
But I do have hope. Well, let me see. Well, there's one more thing. Oh, okay. I don't know how much time I have. Do I have time? Okay, I got time. Okay, now I have actual questions for you guys. I want answers. You have to choose one or the other. Would you rather have an honest and non-sexy person as your significant other, or a dishonest and very sexy person in your life? If you had to choose one or the other, which would you choose?
Dishonest. I'm a liar too. I'm a liar too. I'm a liar too.
You're honest.
I'm honest about being unhonest. There you go.
You'd rather have a dishonest, sexy person in your life.
Hey, let's keep it real. I can't do the ugly. I'll be honest about it.
I resent that because I'm like that person. Non-sexy.
Okay, well, did you know, factoid, did you know that most people after a while, once you like them, like once you like their personality, they actually become more physically appealing to you. Did you know
It
this?
is. Personality is big.
I've never gone that far to know that.
Okay. All right, next question. Okay, all right, here's a little lingo slang term. Try hard. You know what that is? Try hard.
I don't.
Someone who's always trying hard to fit in, like me. Okay, I'm 50 years old and I'm trying to fit into like the young crowd. Okay, try hard. What's so bad about being a try-hard? That's my question.
Just annoying.
Annoying?
I guess
Okay.
Dehydration.
Don't know when to give up.
Yeah.
if you're trying, you're not doing it.
I was gonna say
you only try hard by definition of not achieving what you're trying to do.
But how can you do anything if you're not trying?
Well, if you're doing it, then you're doing it. If you're not doing it, you're trying to do it.
Ooh, that.
Whoa. It's very zen.
Am I trying or doing right now?
You're doing. You're doing good.
I know an answer to that. I know an answer to that.
Thank you. But how do you know if you're doing or trying? How do you know? You don't know.
Wait, you'll know.
You know? You'll know?
Yeah.
You kind of know.
Give them the right sign.
You're putting yourself out there.
You put yourself out there. Okay, yeah. Okay, last thing. Do I have any time? Okay. Here's a song I wrote. I'm going to sing it. It's a parody song. It's to the tune Still the Same. Do you guys know the song Still the Same? Bob Seger?
Oh yeah.
Still the same. Baby, baby, still the... Okay, so it's called Still an Ass. And it's for an ex-friend.
That's a spoiler alert.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. You always said that you were funnier than me. You're a big old dick, way bigger than the dick in your jeans. Every time I was sure I made a joke, you'd shit on it and take a toke because you thought that you were woke. You always said that I was a gross old man. But what kind of douche would live in my crummy old van? Every time I was sure that you'd be nice, you'd spit on me and not think twice, then squeeze my balls inside a vice. Cause you're still an ass. Glad you're moving far away. I hope you find one more fool to pay your way. Cause the truth really hurts, and that is why it's hard to say that I'll always care and be only a text away.
Yeah. Shit like that. Lara.